healthcare professionals, educators, and advocates united by one shared purpose to transform the way we approach health and healing. Our theme this year is turning the tide on non-communicable disease through lifestyle medicine, a whole person approach, which reflects a growing global realization that true healthcare goes far beyond treating disease. It is about empowering emotional, social, and spiritual dimension of health. To commence our program on a spiritual note, I now invite Qari Maqbool Sahab for the recitation from Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم وما يلقاها إلا الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلا ذو حظ عظيم और उस शख्स की बात से अच्छी बात और किसकी होगी जिसने अल्लाह की तरफ बुलाया, नेक अमल किया और कहा कि मैं मुसलमान हूँ। और ए नबी, नेकी और बदी बराबर नहीं हो सकती। तुम बदी को उस नेकी से दूर करो जो बेहतरीन हो। तुम देखोगे कि तुम्हारे साथ जिसकी अदावत है वो तुम्हारा जिगरी दोस्त बन गया। ये सिफ्त नसीब नहीं होती मगर उन लोगों को जो सब्र करते हैं, और ये मकाम हासिल नहीं होता मगर उन लोगों को जो बड़े नसीबे वाले हैं। सदक़ल्लाहुल अज़ीम।
Jazakallah Qari Sahab. Today, non-communicable diseases are not just medical problems, they are societal challenges. They demand solutions that are preventive, person-centered, and evidence-based. Lifestyle medicine gives us the framework integrating science with compassion and clinical care with human connection. The objectives of the conference are to build knowledge and capacity, strengthening the skills of healthcare professionals to apply evidence-based lifestyle intervention in clinical and community settings, to inspire collaboration, creating bridges among clinical, educators, policymakers, and researchers who share a common goal of reducing the NCDs, to promote a whole person approach to health, integrating science with compassion and policy with practice, so that prevention becomes the central pillar of healthcare. This conference and retreat have been carefully designed not just to share knowledge, but to inspire reflection, renewal, and action Over the coming days, we will engage in rich discussions, practical workshops, and experimental learning that reminds us why we do what we do to heal, to prevent, and to lead change. Our retreat setting is intentional. It gives us space to pause, to recharge, and to reconnect with ourselves, with one another, as a part of global movement that is redefining health and healthcare. Together, let us build a future where prevention becomes the foundation of every health system and where every patient encounters becomes an opportunity to restore balance, resilience, and hope. Thank you for being part of this journey. Welcome to Lifestyle Medicine Conference Retreat 2025. Welcome to the movement that is truly turning the tide on NCDs. Our first topic of the day is Meaning and Purpose Importance in Lifestyle Medicine by Dr. Beth Freites. Dr. Beth Freites, MD, a trained psychiatrist and a health and wellness coach with expertise in lifestyle medicine. She is an associate clinical professor at Harvard Medical School. Dr. Freites is one of the first fellows of the ACLM and pioneer in lifestyle medicine. In 2017, Dr. Freites was selected to be one of the 4 item writers of American Board of Lifestyle Medicine inaugural exam for certification in this specialty. She was voted President of American College of Lifestyle Medicine in August 2020 till November 2024. She authored a lifestyle medicine syllabus, the Teen Lifestyle Medicine Handbook, Lifestyle Medicine Pocket Guide. Dr. Freites has created and implemented a 12-step wellness program, Paving the Pathway. Paving the pathway for wellness is for both for patients and providers. She serves as the Director of Lifestyle Medicine and Wellness for the Department of Surgery at Mass General Hospital. In addition, she has her own private practice. Let's listen to Dr. Beth Freites.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Beth Freites, the immediate past president of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and associate professor at Harvard Medical School, part-time in the Department of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation. So delighted and honored to be with you today to talk about meaning and purpose and its role in lifestyle medicine. So our objectives, while we're together in these 20 minutes, are to define purpose and put it in context, to identify journal articles on the topic of purpose and meaning, analyze how a sense of purpose impacts health, and strategize how to find purpose and to help others to find their purpose. We'll understand how purpose fits into goal setting. So first, we understand that everything has a purpose. There's purpose in our own cells. The cell nucleus protects the majority of the DNA within each cell. The mitochondria are powerhouses of the cell. They produce the adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, the main energy molecule used by the cell. We often define things by their purpose. Now we're talking about going from cell all the way to community and world. When we think about purpose, where do I fit in the world? Where do we fit in our community? Where do we fit in our school? Where do we fit in our classroom, our team? Where do we fit in our family? What is our purpose? What is our reason for being? What gives meaning to our life? How can we use our gifts and talents to make the world a better place in some way? I'd love for you to think about this during this presentation, after this presentation, maybe discuss it among your colleagues and attendees that are at this conference. I'm going to call your attention to the Paving the Path to Wellness wheel that I created back in 2012. We do have a nonprofit, Paving the Path to Wellness, and we focus in on healthy body, peaceful mind, and joyful heart. It's a whole person approach to lifestyle medicine and well-being. We use all 6 pillars plus 6 other dimensions, which you can identify here in this wheel. These action steps are key, using variety in friendships, in fruits and vegetables on our plate, in physical activity options, using investigation and experimenting each week with something new for our health and well-being, and setting goals. This will be directed around purpose. Of course, where does purpose fit into this paving the path to wellness? Well, it fits right into a joyful heart. Some people may call this spiritual work, soulful work. It is work that helps us enjoy life and live our sense of purpose. Let's dig into the Paving the Path to Wellness questionnaire or wheel, where we have specific questions on all of those 12 dimensions. Specifically for purpose, our questions are, I feel that I have a clear purpose in life. 1 to 5, how do you relate to that question? How confident are you in a yes response? I'm able to prioritize my activities and projects easily. I make sure that my activities and projects are in alignment with my values. I have identified the people and activities that are most important to me. I'm using my strengths to fulfill my purpose. We think about purpose, we think about vision, mission statement, our core values, and our priorities. I'd like to share with you a few quotes to get you thinking. This is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. The purpose of life is not to be happy, it's to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. That's through the lens of Ralph Waldo Emerson. Now let's move to Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. If we take man as he is, we make him worse. But if we take him as he should be, then we make him capable of becoming what he can be. Goethe, German writer and statesman you're likely familiar with. Now let's look at purpose and meaning through the lens of Viktor Frankl. Everyone has his own specific vocation or mission in life. Everyone must carry out a concrete assignment that demands fulfillment. Therein, he cannot be replaced, nor can his life be repeated. Thus, everyone's task is unique, as is his specific opportunity to implement it. Now, if you haven't read Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, I highly recommend it. In his book, part of his work is to consider despair. He has what he calls a mathematical equation of despair. D equals S minus M. Despair is suffering without meaning. Now, part of life is going to involve stressful events, mishaps, struggles, and suffering. Now, we can fall into despair if we don't make meaning out of this suffering. We don't stop to think, how will learning grow from this? How will rise above this? How will reach higher ground? How will make meaning out of this suffering? Some of you know my own father had a heart attack and stroke, leaving him paralyzed on the left side at the age of 52, which was a lot of suffering. And making meaning of that was one thing that he tried to do. How I made meaning of it was to change my career from an economics major to psychology and biology major. Instead of going into business, I decided to go into medicine and really devote my life to figuring out how we can prevent heart attacks and strokes. Here's the Dalai Lama's lens on purpose. Our prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. This may make you think about primum non nocere. First, do no harm. Now let's get into definitions. There's a variety of quotes and thoughts and ideas around purpose. Here's a definition. Merriam-Webster's Dictionary Online. Purpose is the reason why something is done or used, the aim or intention of something. The feeling of being determined to do or achieve something. The aim or goal of a person, what a person is trying to do, to become. We often talk in lifestyle medicine that we are passion-filled people, purpose-driven people. Let's look at some literature. People have been examining how purpose impacts health for over a decade. Here's one. People with purpose live longer, have a lower risk of cognitive decline, have a lower risk of disability, have positive relations with others. You're already seeing social connection pillar coming in here. Another study in the Lancet 2015, decade ago. Eudaimonic sense of well-being if you have a sense of control, feeling that what you do is worthwhile, and the third is a sense of purpose. So there were 4 categories of people in this study looking at 8 years worth of data in 9,050 English people, average age of 65. They were put into different categories of well-being, this eudaimonic sense of well-being we just defined by the 3 different specific items, and one of which is sense of purpose. Those followed over the 8 years. In the highest well-being category, only 9% died. In the lowest well-being category, over those 8 years of the study, 29% died. People in the highest well-being category lived 2 years longer than those in the lowest, on average. Now let's look at Ikigai. This is Japanese. Reason for being. So a strong connection to one's sense of purpose. This research is in 73,000 Japanese people. Those with a strong connection to their Ikigai lived longer in this study. Blue Zones, as you know, work with Dan Buettner, supports this finding, and they use a sense of well-being, of sense of purpose in terms of their main items for longevity. Here is Ikigai, as you can see in the middle, Ikigai. Then we have passion, mission, vocation, and profession in these Venn diagrams. Then we have what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you are good at. In the middle, Ikigai, reason for being. Let's look at cardiovascular health. This is a 2019 review. Sense of purpose in life is emerging as an independent risk factor for incident CVD. Causality was not confirmed. Let's look at Alzheimer's disease. People with a low sense of purpose were 2.4 times more likely to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease than those people who had a strong sense of purpose. Those with a strong sense of purpose were less likely to suffer disability and impairments in activities of daily living. Pain. Women with a stronger sense of purpose were better able to handle heat and cold stimuli applied to their skin. Mood. In studies on women who were depressed, having a purpose helped them to accept the depression symptoms. Also, protects from a decrease in quality of life and fosters resilience, being able to manage difficult situations when the women had a sense of purpose. Okay, work and retirement. Shell Oil study found employees that retired early at age 55 were more likely to die early compared to those who retired at 65. The mortality rate of those who retired at 55, adjusted for other health factors, was twice that of their still working colleagues. Often when people are working, they have a significant sense of purpose. Let's look more deeply into work and retirement. 17,000 Greek people ages 20 to 90 followed for 7 years. Risk of death increased 51% after retirement. Early retirement seemed to increase the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. Now, sense of purpose in life and 5 health behaviors in older adults. This is 13,770 adults across 8 years. Looked at the top versus lowest quartile of purpose in life in this sample of subjects. 24% lower likelihood of becoming physically inactive if people were in the top quartile of having a sense of purpose. 33% lower likelihood of developing sleep problems if they were in the top quartile. 22% lower likelihood of developing unhealthy body mass index if they were in the top quartile for sense of purpose. And there was a marginal reduction in smoking relapse for those in the top quartile of purpose. So a higher sense of purpose at baseline was associated with lower likelihood of developing unhealthy behaviors over time. It's time to take purpose seriously. Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, Surviving and Thriving, Fundamental Social Motives Provide Purpose in Life. In this study, higher purpose in life correlated with having a goal linked to disease avoidance, affiliation, mate retention, or family care. Writing about success increased impact. And then the pursuit of evolved fundamental goals contributes to a purposeful life. Let's look at another article in psychiatrist.com. Here we have meaning in life and its relationship with physical, mental, and cognitive functioning. A study of 1,042 community dwelling adults across the lifespan. It was published in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry. The Journal of Clinical Psychiatry, 2019. The presence of meaning in one's life is linked with better physical and mental functioning. Actively searching for meaning is associated with poor mental and cognitive functioning. Meaning in life is potentially modifiable factor, which can be targeted by clinicians and researchers to enhance the well-being and functioning of patients. So there'll be a period when people may be looking and searching for meaning. We can help them to find that meaning so that they can relax into it, enjoy it, and enjoy all the beauty that their life is holding for them, and enjoy healthy behaviors, as we've seen in other studies. I want to sum up with some American Heart Association research and articles, as well as some meta-analyses. So the American Heart Association, our premier organization here in the United States for heart health. Heart disease is still our #1 killer. Individuals with a greater sense of purpose exhibit healthier lifestyle behaviors, such as increased physical activity, lower smoking rates, better control of their glucose, and lower inflammation, as well as increased cardiovascular health overall. I urge you to look at this study from Circulation published in 2021. There are some meta-analyses and cohort studies that were highlighted in this Circulation article that I want to call your attention to. These studies consistently show that higher purpose in life is associated with a reduction in cardiovascular events and all-cause mortality. How much lower can you bring your risk of all-cause mortality? It appears 17% lower with a higher sense of purpose. There are multiple articles you can dig into to further study this. Then purpose and meaning are associated with lower levels of inflammatory biomarkers like CRP, IL-6, 10, and IL-1RA, lower levels of TNF receptor 1, and this was found independent of age, sex, and other socio-demographic factors in this journal article from 2 years ago, 2023. Journal of Psychosomatic Research. Longitudinal data indicate that increases in purpose are prospectively linked to decreases in chronic low-grade inflammation. This was found specifically in older American adults, 50 plus, who had coronary artery disease. This was in the Journal of Behavioral Medicine in 2013. So anytime is a good time to start working on purpose. It is good to help our teens, college age, young adults, middle age adults, old